but let's say it's they didn't find, like, let's say they did find something that wasn't us. Do you think they'd tell you about it, or do you think they'd hide it for, I don't know, 80 years, like the JFK files that are 60 years?
You see what Trump said about the JFK files?
No, what?
He was talking to, what's that guy's name? Napolitano?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, he goes, why did you break that promise?
Yeah, why?
And he goes, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't tell anybody either.
I didn't see that.
That's what Trump said. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Trump said to that judge. If I think there's only one reason to hide it. The CIA killed Kennedy.
You know shit.
There's only one reason. And probably not just the CIA. Probably the mob. Probably a bunch of people. Probably
a lot of motive.
A lot of motive. A lot of people wanted him gone. They did not like him in Dallas. When he came to Dallas, Dallas was a red state, a red city in a red state, and they did not like him. He wasn't liked by everybody. This idea that he's liked by everybody, that's now that he's murdered.
Yeah, right. Everybody loves you after you get murdered.
Right. And if can you imagine if Obama got murdered, how much they would love him now? Oh my God! We'd be looking back. If we were looking at Trump and then Biden, this fucking bumbling old dead man.
Yeah.
We'd look back at the days when our president was like well spoken, and we'd be so pumped. This
is a silly place. We live in a silly place.
The silliest place.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. That's a crazy thing. I didn't know he said that. Like, I'm gonna go find that clip.
That's what he said. And that doesn't that register? Like, it has to be something that's so egregious that you would realize, like, this would throw the whole country into disarray. We would completely lose trust in what I think is necessary. I think the CIA is necessary. I just think they're out of control. I think the FBI is necessary. I just think you're not supposed to fucking do some of the shit. How many people did you have in the fucking ground on January 6th? Tell us that.
I can't.
But I think for legitimate crimes and like dangerous fucking terrorists, that shit's important because sleeper cells are fucking real. Like they knew that something was going down in Russia and they tried to tell them. They tried to warn them. Stay away from any mass gatherings. The United States. The United States intelligence agencies were aware that something was going down in Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure they were aware. I'm sure
they warned them.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm sure that's what that was.
But listen, the point is that can serve a function. You do need some sort like this guy from the CIA was on Schultz's podcast. And
I don't like that guy.
Wait, his hair? What is it? He's the cool CIA guy.
Okay, I'm glad you said the hair.
Right away, I'm like, what are you doing?
He looks like he's from old school. He's the Dominican kid from old school, the young one with that same hair and the fucking. But I'm watching him on I think it was Lex.
Lex Friedman. Yeah, it was Lex first. Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, they all tell you this great story of how they look for people who are sociopaths, and he goes, they don't like me to say this, but I feel more comfortable around gangsters and something. And I'm like, I'm naive, as I said. And I go, well, I know why they don't want you to say that, because it sounds like you're a criminal like a gangster. But that's not why. It's so he looks cool for the kids because they're recruiting. It's recruiting season all the time. It's I'm a cool Grand Theft Auto and look at my dumb fucking hair. That's what the fuck that is. I don't know what.
You got mad. Look at you.
Because that thing of warning them, dude, the spin of that story.
Let me get to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what he was saying was there's sleeper cells in like Chinese communities. And one of I forget which guy on Schultz's show brought that up. And he asked him, and then he was like, yes, it's true. And they're like, what? He's right. This is real. And that Chinese nationals will embed themselves in these like expat cultures. But they're not expats. It's a what is it called when you have he explained it on the podcast. What's it called when you have a culture that is essentially they only speak Chinese, they hang out with only Chinese people, they're in a Chinese village that's inside of a city.
Alt-right?
There's a term for it. But there's a term for that, and he was saying that in that, like, we would do that. If there was something like that that existed in a foreign country, of course we would do that. We'd embed our intelligence agents into that country. It's a responsibility. That's the only way you find out what the fuck is going on. So, of course, China's doing that.
Oh, you don't think they're coming at us with balloons?
They're doing that, too.
I don't believe for 2 seconds that
I think they're doing that, too. I think
they're
doing that right. Well, the crazy one was
I don't believe it at all.
Drones. Did you hear about the drones at the bases that were happening for weeks?
No.
Did I send it to you the other day, Jamie? Do you have it? Do you want me to send it to you again? This is something Melissa Chen sent me. there is apparently a fucking shit ton of drones that were hanging around this base for weeks. And they didn't know who was. Look at this. Mysterious drones swarmed Langley Air Force Base for weeks, dude. Weeks. The unidentified drones were such an issue that assets were called in from around the government, including a NASA WB-57 high-altitude jet. So they're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. If we're at some weird stage where they start implementing these things that we've been calling UFOs, that maybe at least some of them are controlled by someone that's a human being.
I think many of them are.
Yeah, but if they're that level where they can just like buzz around Air Force bases and no one can catch them and no one can stop them and no one knows what the fuck they are.
First of all, Raytheon is a weapons company that's in Antarctica. They're just to make concern for science.
Yes, they're just concerned for science. Listen, this is a neutrino detector, which is really important. As someone who loves science and talking to scientists, I support Raytheon's desire to not just create weapons, but also do well for humanity.
Touché, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I support their getting young women into STEM fields.
Yes.
I support that.
Women.
And I caught Rachel Maddow's speaking engagement there about how we need to shovel money into Ukraine, and I accept it and believe it. And that's right, Ukraine, what a conspiracy to say that wasn't going to work out. What a crazy conspiracy to say they haven't been winning, they would be better off, they would have more. If we didn't do fucking anything, they'd be way better off than they are now, which is fucked.
Dude, I want to do a reality show with Conor McGregor and Zelensky just doing coke together in a mansion.
Zelensky's going to try to fuck Conor. It's going to not work out. Zelensky's going to try to suck his dick. It's going to be, he'll hit him.